This is the first time that we're going to have federal tax policy to help produce an ever cleaner and more sustainable fuel.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Aaron Putsey. I'm visiting with Matt Herman. Matt serves as the Chief Officer of Demand and Advocacy for the Iowa Soybean Association. And Matt, I know we've been talking a lot about biofuels in some recent episodes of the State of Soy, and for good reason. There's a lot going on in that space, and one of the issues that we wanted to bring farmers up to speed on really quickly here is they're getting ready to head to the field. It has to do with some biofuels tax credits that were part of the Inflation Reduction Act. First of all, let's just take it from the macro level on what these tax provisions are and how they're impacting the biofuels industry as we sit here in April of 2024.
Yeah, so inside the Inflation Reduction Act, there were two key tax credits. One is called the Sustainable Aviation Fuel Tax Credit. Some people might hear it referred to as its number, 40B. The other is the Clean Fuel Production Tax Credit, 45Z. One is to help incentivize the production of on-road fuels, this Clean Fuels Production Tax Credit, and the other is for aviation biofuels. What's important for everybody to know, especially our farmers, is that this is the first time that we're going to have federal tax policy that doesn't just reward biofuels, but rewards the whole supply chain all the way down to farmers to help produce an ever cleaner and more sustainable fuel.
So this is part of that effort to really drive the decarbonization throughout the entire value chain.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving down that carbon footprint is going to be critical because one of the key provisions of this tax credit to qualify is that you achieve a 50% greenhouse gas reduction, this biofuel does, compared to petroleum. And so, some fuels, they're going to need a lot of help along that supply chain in order to get there. And farmers are going to be in a position to help support that.
For some of these provisions, they really don't kick in until 2025. However, they're based on practices that go into effect as early as this growing season, if that's what a farmer is looking to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So things that are done in the supply chain this year have the potential to impact the industry's ability to generate tax credits going forward. We were so focused on Secretary Vilsack and Administrator Regan's comments at Commodity Classic because we were expecting them to release this final guidance for sustainable aviation fuel. And for the farmers listening, when I say guidance, what I really mean is the rules, right? Like, what are they going to be able to do? How they qualify? What are reporting and verification? Because we expect that the on-road biofuel tax credit that starts next year is going to be essentially identical to this. So whatever we see in this sustainable aviation fuel guidance gives us high certainty on what we're going to see for biodiesel and ethanol and those things going forward.
So back to the growing season and back to farmers who are looking at implementing practices that perhaps would qualify for some of those tax incentives. What is your advice? What is your counsel to them?
Well, first, I think they need to ask as many questions as they can. If people are coming to them with absolute answers and absolute offers at this point, they're probably not quite correct because we don't have that final guidance. And I know I certainly wouldn't be comfortable making those types of statements yet. Two, I think they have the opportunity to enroll in an existing program like through Soil and Water Outcomes Fund. Nothing in this tax provision, nothing in this biofuel law is going to limit people who are already participating, already doing conservation practices from participating in the future. So in short, there's no additionality. Three, they should stay up to speed on what Iowa Soybean, our Biofuel Association, the Clean Fuels Alliance America is saying, American Soybean Association, or even corn growers, Iowa Corn, RFA, they're very plugged into this as well. And then finally, I think the fourth thing is if they're really excited and they really want to see how their farm might perform, they can absolutely jump on Argonne National Lab's website, download the simplified GREET model, and start to put in their farm information and see how they may score compared to that baseline. So they'll get a pretty good idea of where they might sit in this marketplace going forward.
Those are four really key takeaways, and rest assured that we'll continue to follow this issue on future episodes of the State of Soy. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Aaron Putsey.
My name is Charlie Brunker, and my wife and I and our kids run Precision Ag, try to be on the cutting edge every time we can. We turned on FMH, Precision Ag, crop insurance. We harnessed what we're already doing, and we'll never look back. Grandpa used to call a field, 100 acres, and now we're planting 90 of the 100 acres. Well, we're only paying for the 90 that we plant, and those details actually increased our APHs anywhere from 5 to 12% in the first year.